morning, everybody. Did a video yesterday just for our grandma group, but I wanted to do one this morning that I could post for all of you to take a look at, because I am so in love with these grandma prayer books, and I wanted to give a chance for everybody to see them. These books started out by accident. I was working on some little needle books. I had seen a video, and I can't remember, Cafe Press Girl maybe, I can't remember who made the video on the needle books, but I love the needle books, and I wanted to try to make some. I don't even sew, but I love the books, whoever it was making them. So I started out to try to make some, and the more and more I worked on them, the more I was feeling led. This will sound crazy to some of you that don't really believe, but I was feeling led to make prayer books. I kept having that thought in my mind: no needle books, prayer books. So I put the needle books aside, and, you know, I'm one of those people that always thinks the Lord's talking to me, and when I think He's talking to me, I listen. So I put the needle books aside and started some prayer books. And I first threw the idea out there to see if there was interest in our group, and quite a few were interested in them, quite a few. And so I gave them a choice. I said, we can do it in kind of a little quilted cover. And what I had, I need some new quilt fabric, because mine were pastels, tiny granny print, and it was an old quilt that I cut up. But, or an old book, an old grandma aged book. And they first all picked the quilted granny print cover. And so I started on those, and had 10 of them started. I have more than that I have to do now, but I had 10 of them started. And it just wasn't clicking. I thought, you know, the things that, it just wasn't going well. I thought grandma of 1942 would not have had this frill. She did not have the resources that we have today. She would have scrounged around, and if she was going to make herself a prayer book, she would have made a prayer book with some things that she just had on hand, some found treasures. So I put that aside, made a post, made a video, I believe, or maybe it was a post, can't remember. And I just told the group, I said, I'm feeling like the quilted covers are not working. I don't feel like that is the prayer book that I'm supposed to be making. So I'm going to make the prayer book I feel like I'm being led to make, and if anybody wants it, okay, and if they don't, okay, it's okay with me, because I feel like I felt like I was being led to make these prayer books, and I felt like I needed to do it in the way that I felt like the Lord was leading me to do it. So, and then I couldn't decide on two covers. I thought they needed to look aged, like they really were, from 1942, from a grandma in 1942, and maybe decades older than even that, because she had been keeping them through the years. So this is what I came up with. And then I couldn't decide on the cover. I found two covers. I wanted Grandma's hands on a Bible on the front, and so this is the two that I came up with. So they're all the very same inside, except for buttons. And I just wanted to give you a quick peek, because I don't know if I've ever, and I've said this before, but I mean it this time again, I don't think I've ever made a book that I have had so much enjoyment out of doing, and I've got a long ways to go. I've got 2 of them done, and people are still wanting them, but we'll see where that goes, because if you don't follow the videos or the page, I'm having a terrible time with my shoulder. I had a pinched nerve, and it will not come unpinched. I've been to the chiropractor. I've had blood work and all that, and, everything seems fine, but that old pinched nerve will not come unpinched. So, I mean, I have had some real pain with that thing. Right now I'm using my husband's TENS unit, and things seem to be going a little bit better. So I'm trying to heal myself on my own, me and the Lord. We'll see where it goes. Prayers appreciated. Okay, let's go to this book. It is full of prayers. I first did a big envelope and 2 pockets. I was going to just stuff those pockets with prayers and things that Grandma would have kept and tucked into her prayer book. And then I thought, no, wait a minute. Grandma wouldn't have had a big envelope with frill on it back in 1942, and she wouldn't probably have thought to make a pocket or 2 pockets to fill with her stuff. She would have tucked her things in the prayer book. So I really wanted to use an old rusty clothespin for the clip here, but I just didn't want to take a chance on tearing the papers or anything, so I did use the clip. So this is just a couple of prayers clipped into the front. The Lord's Prayer here, the Old Country Church here, a couple of prayers here. And everything's going to be the same in every book. All the images, all the fabric. But, well, now it doesn't want to go back. There it goes. The buttons will be different because, of course, you know I'm not going to have a whole bunch of the same button if they're, and I like to use real unusual buttons when I can. So this says, this is a Bible page. When I started this page, I thought, what was I thinking? What am I going to do with this odd-shaped page? But then it turned out to be, I think, my favorite page. Let's see. I just love that. Just love that. And I kind of did it sepia. There's very little color in the book. Very little color in the book. But Grandma would have had very little color back in 1942 or even before that. So I think this is an authentic, aged book that Grandma of 1942 would have had or put together, worked on as she could. So this is the Bible wore her imprint, the cover soft from use, its pages rubbed and wrinkled, the binding coming loose, and it goes on. And then here's some prayers. More prayers. Prayers are all through the book. This says the power of prayer, and this is a list of 30 scriptures you will find in the Bible talking about the power of prayer. Love this page. And this is in the garden, a hymn in the garden. I just copied off several and tore it out, tore around it and aged it up. Never doubt the power of prayer, believe in the power of prayer. If this is just a book that I made, Grandma would have to have several notepads and books and things or little pieces of paper or something in her book so she could write her own thoughts and things on. So she's got that. This just came to me on a whim. I stuck a Kleenex in every book. I did coffee dye it, baked it just lightly, just enough to let it start drying so it would finish. I did not age it really well because Grandma wouldn't have had a really aged dirty hanky in a Kleenex in her book. So I just wanted it to look old and yellowy or drab, but not dirty at all. This is by Mother Teresa, and it said, I used to pray that God would feed the hungry or do this and that, but now I just pray that He will guide me to do whatever I'm supposed to do, whatever I can do, and it goes on and on. So these images, and this is Grandmother's prayer. Love this. I just love this. This is images all the baby boomers will remember this. Here's the church, here's the steeple. I'll open the door and see the people. Love that image. I put that in the Old Country Church books, and that probably was my most sold book, the Old Country Church books. But it was just a great book. Love this image. This is a, Pease Gutman. What's her name? Pease Gutman. That's one of her images. Jesus Loves Me. This I know. The little girl's playing the piano. Love the piano. I was church pianist for 63 years. Love, love, love playing the piano. This page, I found these images early on. I knew I wanted to use them. I knew about them. I had used them in the Old Country Church books, and I love these images. I knew I wanted this page to be very simple, but still stand out with a wow or a pow or something. So I just made the page very simple. This is, there's a lot of creepy cloth in this book, but this is cheesecloth here. Just a bow for Grandma's side. This is a piece of cheesecloth with a leaf out of the yard, out of Round Knob Canyon. This is a piece of bark off of my Uncle Remus tree. And these are two prayers. And this is, I love this prayer. I put this in a lot of the books, even if they're not prayer books. It says, slow me down, Lord, and ease the pounding of my heart by the quieting of my mind, steady my hurried pace with a vision of the eternal march of time. Give me amid the confusion of the day the calmness of the eternal hills. And it goes on and on and on. And I put this song in there when I pray. I love this song. As I said, I was church pianist for 63 years, and one of the things that I loved to do more than anything was just on a whim, just start playing a song and start singing it. And during the congregational singing, but doing it without pomp and circumstance, so to speak. I would just start playing the song, and then I'd start singing in the auditorium. The congregation would chime in, and this is one that we did often. It's when you pray, will you pray for me, for I need his love and his care? And when you pray, will you pray for me? Will you whisper my name in your prayer? And then it says, when I pray, I'll pray for you need his love and his care. And when I pray, I'll pray for you, and I'll whisper your name in my prayer. Some of those times at the piano when we just did little hymns like that, choruses, were the most bone-chilling, and sometimes we just go on and on and on with it. And this is the last page. This is the 2 pockets that I put in here. I just put the envelope aside. I'll use it in other books. But these are the 2 pockets I had planned on filling with prayers, and I thought, no, Grandma would not do that, so I'm not going to do it either. So I've got an image of a little girl praying here. Here is the prayer quilt. It says, I'm a little prayer quilt I hold in your hand to help when trouble arises, those things you do not plan, and that goes on, and that's just clipped to it. This is a grandma's hanky. There will be a grandma's hanky in every book. This is a crochet doily. I love crochet doilies. These flowers, I use a lot of these. They're at Hobby Lobby. They're on a roll in the fabric department, and they're on sale this week, half price. I love these. They come in this size, and then another one about the size of a nickel or a dime. This is the War Room Prayer Book. Just another place for Grandma to put some notes or whatever it is she wants to do. So that's it. I just wanted to show this book. I did a video yesterday for the Grandma group, but I wanted to do one that I could just post all over and let you all see, because this is, and I don't mean this in a boastful way, but this is a beautiful book, and there was so much more that I wanted to put in it, but I just couldn't. I do have a bigger one coming up that's going to have a whole lot more in it after I get these all done. But this in itself, and anybody can add to it, if you have any kind of creative mind at all. People are always asking me, what do I need to do, what videos can I watch? The main thing you need is a creative mind, and let your books talk to you. Just open a page and don't just start sticking stuff there to fill that page. Let that page talk to you. This page over here with Grandma and Grandpa, I sat and studied that page off and on for 2 days. I just kept going back and looking at it because I knew that was going to be a very special page. And I had to let the book talk to me and tell me what that page needed to be. So I'm going to get off here. Just wanted to be real quick. I wanted to post this around to some of the other friends. If you're not subscribed to the channel, I'd appreciate you subscribing. And click the bell. I don't have a lot of luck with those bells. I never hear one of the bells go off, but I'm not on the computer much, early in the morning and late in the evening, just for about an hour both times, and I don't get notifications, but anyway, if you will subscribe, I'd love for you to subscribe, click the like button, and leave a comment, even if you just say hi, because that does help us rank in with YouTube. And I'm growing slow, but I'm growing, and your help would be greatly appreciated. Okay, going to get off of this, get off of here, get this posted. I've got some work to do. Early this morning, it's just now breaking day in Round Knob Canyon, Southern Illinois, and have a lot to do today if this old shoulder will hold out and let me do it. Hope you have a super duper grand and groovy day. I hope you get a little kindness and spread a little kindness absolutely everywhere you go. Just be nice. We'll all carry our own burdens and have our own things that, we don't want to talk to anybody about but the Lord. So, okay, going to get off here. Hope you all have a super duper day. Love and hugs.